Thomas Tuchel was on the move, but he signed well. I think Andrei Yarmolenko could be an inspired signing, somehow getting him away from Dynamo Kiev after he turned down a number of suitors, hadn't he? I think his combination with another new man, Philipp, and Aubameyang in the middle could be crucial.
Well, here comes Jeremy Tolian now. Borussia on the attack again. A good ball in from the left-hand side, right into the middle of the 6-yard box. It took a partial save from Navas and a clearance to get that ball away, but Dortmund still have possession here on the left-hand side. Trying to push it forward there was Jeremy Tolian, but it's been won back by Carvajal. It's a little bit of pressure there for Rafael Varane. He's got to clear this one towards the halfway line, but the ball well, bit of a fortunate ricochet, but it's straight back into Dortmund's possession. Castro on this occasion though plays that one straight into the feet of Modrić, and the ball deflects back into towards the Dortmund half. But it's pretty much all Dortmund so far in these first 3 minutes.
Yeah, it certainly is. They're obviously setting the tempo against a bit of a makeshift Real Madrid back forward. Nacho at left back. I think Yarmolenko will really fancy himself against Nacho. He's a very, very good centre half, I always think, but when he's put out into the full-back positions, especially on the left-hand side, not his natural side, I think he just lacked for a bit of pace.
He does, and there's a very poor clearance there at the edge of the area, straight to Gonzalo Castro, and there are Dortmund players at the edge of the area waiting for the strike. It was Yarmolenko with the shot in the end. It is charged down. Loose ball goes towards Luka Modrić, and he plays it back towards Nacho. Chance now for Madrid to get forward. Down the left-hand side is Isco. We were wondering if Isco was going to be on the left with Ronaldo playing through the middle, but that certainly seems to be the case for now, although Madrid don't enjoy possession for too long. Straight back towards Dortmund, and it's going to be a free kick on the halfway line as well. It's a bit edgy here from Real. They had the ball, they wanted to go up with it straight away. They weren't really keen on keeping possession at all.
Yeah, I think Nacho's one challenge away from a yellow card now, isn't he? He's had a couple of bites at Yarmolenko. Seeing it again, just runs into the back of him. It's pretty blatant from the Spanish international. Bjorn Kuipers, the man on the spot straight away. I think Zidane may have had a bit of a word with the fourth official, but it all seems well. But yeah, good start for Dortmund. Maybe just need to add a bit more control to the play.
They do, just perhaps, well, they've certainly got Madrid backpedaling, and as you mentioned there, Nacho's foul on Yarmolenko. Well, I think Nacho's done his homework, and he knows he's probably going to have a long night with Yarmolenko as well. So anything to slow the Ukrainian down is going to be good for Nacho. Ball back with Roman Burki now. Long clearance down the middle, a bit too long, straight towards Varane. Ball just gets away from Casemiro, and Dortmund back into possession again. On the right-hand side is Piszczek, just plays it square to Castro. He's got a couple of options here, Gonzalo Castro, just plays it towards Yarmolenko, and then it's easily cleared by Nacho, but not too far. Still a throw on to Dortmund, level with the edge of the area here on the right-hand side. It's taken quickly, and it goes towards Castro. Castro finds Piszczek, tries to get away from Nacho. That one just squeams away from him though, and Ronaldo back in his own half, just trying to get his side into some kind of possession. Isco now in the middle, but he's surrounded by 4 Dortmund players, and they really are pressing any occasion where Real win the ball. There's somebody on them straight away.
Yeah, well, I think Dortmund would have seen the likes of Betis and Alaves do it to Real Madrid in the last week, and it has proved dividends, hasn't it? And Dortmund, they always are an up and at them team, sometimes maybe a bit too much, but they clearly fancy it. After losing to Tottenham in the opening round of fixtures, they know a victory in this game is pretty much crucial to their chances of going through, and yep, it's all Dortmund at the moment. It
is, and as you said, they were a bit unlucky, I thought, against Spurs. Spurs played well in the second half, but there was a blatant goal that Dortmund should have had awarded, which was chalked off for an offside where the goal scorer was anywhere near offside. So that was a bit unfortunate for Peter Bosch's side, but they've made a very promising start here. 6 minutes gone at the BBV Stadion, and it's 0-0 between Dortmund and Real Madrid, but all the possession really has been with the home side. Just as I say that though, Real have got a moment of possession here inside the Dortmund half, but Gareth Bale is just pushed off the ball there. I think he was looking for a free kick. Referee not interested in that long ball towards Aubameyang, but that one's been won by Sergio Ramos, and now it's Luka Modrić just at the edge of the centre circle, tries an outside of the boot pass, and that wasn't a bad effort at all. Goalkeeper was always favourite though there, but Burki quickly off his line is able to get that one down towards the edge of the Real penalty area. Madrid back into possession here with Toni Kroos, still all inside their own half really. Not been able to put any kind of pressure on this Dortmund defence. Now a long sweeping ball out towards the right-hand side, looking for Carvajal. He plays it inside to Ronaldo. He's going through the right-hand side this time. Ronaldo plays a 1-2 with Isco. Isco decides to go back towards Modrić. Modrić now has Carvajal out wide. Carvajal's ball along the ground into the penalty area wasn't the best really. An easy clearance there from Nuri Sahin, but it's straight back towards Luka Modrić. And Madrid now enjoying their first moment of real attacking possession. Still need to get it towards the penalty area though. Cross goes out towards the left-hand side for Nacho. Back in towards Sergio Ramos. He likes to join as an additional midfielder where he can, and this is the first time that Madrid can really try and push at Dortmund. But Dortmund is still holding their shape. It's not easy for Real to find any space getting towards the penalty area.
No, it's not, and they're going backwards here, and Nacho gives away. It's a bit of a hospital pass by Ramos in truth, and he gives a bit of a thumbs up to his teammate there. Incidentally, the first goal of the night in the Champions League has gone already. Lorenzo Insigne has put Napoli 1-0 up at home to Feyenoord. Yeah,
they were very excited, weren't they, the Feyenoord fans, when they got into the Champions League, but they had a bit of a walloping at home to Manchester City last time out, and if they were to lose heavily this evening as well, it just it's a bit of a bad precedent for the rest of the group. It's a tough group they're in as well, it has to be said. Throw on to Borussia Dortmund now, as Jack was saying after that misplaced pass from Nacho, but the home side give it away, and now Sergio Ramos can play it all the way back towards Keylor Navas, who was under pressure from Aubameyang, and he was half a step away from losing that ball there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a lot more confident than I was, I have to say. He got away with it, but right at the other end, Isco, first real attack here for Real Madrid. Yeah,
he just beat the offside trap. He's got a couple of Dortmund players around him, but he's still able to get it to the edge of the area. Finds Ronaldo. Ronaldo trying to get it onto his left foot. There were 3 Dortmund players blocking him. He still tried to get his shot away, and that just gets away from him, and now it's a chance for Dortmund to bring it forward again. Here is Sahin. Just plays a ball over towards the right-hand side. In theory, that was for Yarmolenko, but that was still a long, long way away from him.
Yeah, it was. Giving the Ukrainian a bit too much to do there. Nuri Sahin, former Real Madrid man. Of course, injuries hampered his time at the Bernabeu, but yeah, there's only one team in it at the moment.
Certainly is, as Madrid now in possession inside their own half, having to go towards Casemiro, but he's pretty much been playing as an additional defender so far in these early stages, hardly had a chance to get out of his own half. That's a great ball though, just as I say that, superb from Casemiro, all the way to Carvajal, who breaks into the penalty area. Carvajal has got a chance to shoot, he does, and he's wasted his opportunity. Well, that's unforgivable, really, when you consider the attacking talent that was waiting in the box for that pass. If Carvajal decides to shoot, he has to score.
Yeah, I imagine he'll get a sore ear from a few of his teammates, but Burki looked all at sea initially, didn't he? But got back in position. Tolian it was, who I don't know if he lost his footing or dived in. It was poor defending either way. Carvajal cuts inside on his least favoured left foot, but he can't be more than 10 yards out. He's got to score there.
He has to score there, really, but that really was a very good opportunity for Madrid, having been sat back in their own half. In fact, that move started deep in their own half. It was a superb ball from Casemiro. That's the one advantage when you're playing against a team that are so compact. If you can get that ball through, there's a whole, pretty much half the pitch you can work with, then, isn't there?
Yeah, and Tolian's a right-footed left-back, isn't he? Marauding right-back for Germany under-21s in the summer, wasn't he? And you feel that maybe he's got the nod ahead of Zagadou tonight, just on an experience point of view. He's 23, Zagadou's only 18, and maybe they've given him the shout like they did against Tottenham, but yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable.
No, he was certainly exposed there. A bright start from Borussia Dortmund here at the BBV Stadion. The first few minutes of the game, Real Madrid couldn't even get a touch of the ball, and they certainly couldn't get out of their own half. But just in the last few minutes, Real have started to see a little bit more of the ball, and they've actually created the best chance of the game as well. It was Casemiro deep inside his own half. He played a lovely ball down the right-hand side, completely beating the Borussia offside trap. And there was Carvajal. He had the whole of the right-hand channel to work with, cut into the penalty area. Should have perhaps passed. He took the shot himself, and in the end, the ball ended up being saved by Roman Burki. But Real Madrid have just had another counter-attack as well. Ronaldo and Bale linking up this time, and Borussia, after a very promising start, are now just under a bit of pressure, although it's still 0-0.
Yeah, it's a great clearance that by Lucas Piszczek. I didn't realise how quite good it was at first, because Bale's got the run on him, and he just dives in and gets in there ahead of him. Corner kick to Real Madrid. Toni Kroos will be the man to take it. Bale, Ronaldo, Casemiro, soon to be joined by Varane and Ramos. Kroos inside in the swinging corner kick. Couldn't get my words out. He can get the ball into the box. Poor one, really. Didn't be the first man. And now Carvajal on the halfway line. Another goal to tell you about. Besiktas beating Leipzig. Up the other end. It comes to Ronaldo, but Ramos is offside. Yes, Ryan Babel, remember him? He scored for Besiktas 1-0. They lead RB Leipzig. Yeah, Ronaldo.
Was he there with the Hodgson era at Liverpool? Was he a little bit after that?
It
was
it doesn't matter. He didn't do the business, did he?
No, he didn't. I mean, I certainly remember him being there under Brendan Rodgers. I'm trying to remember if it was Hodgson that actually brought him to Liverpool in the first place. But yeah, just as we were having that update, and Jack was saying, a great chance there for Madrid. Ball put across to Bale, but Piszczek doing the business to get that one out. And from the resulting corner, there was a great chance as well with the second ball, but Ramos was actually in an offside position. But Zidane will certainly be a lot happier now than he was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think so, and I think he'll have had a few questions of his players coming into this game, rested a number of them in the weekend's win at Alaves. Dani Ceballos getting both goals in a 2-1 victory, and yeah, they just looked sluggish like they did last week against Real Betis, and they have done in previous games. But yeah, they've come to life a bit more. Casemiro is getting on the ball. I think getting Kroos and Modrić, that's so important to this side, aren't they? I think the more they get on the ball, it's noticeable that the team is starting to play.
Yeah, absolutely. That midfield three, but in particular, Casemiro likes to sit a bit deeper, doesn't he? But Kroos and Modrić, once they get on the ball, they really can start to make things work for Real Madrid. We've got a throw on the right-hand side. Just inside the Dortmund half, it's Carvajal throws it back. That's miscontrolled though by Isco, who went back into midfield, and that is a great chance. It's 3-on-1 here if Madrid can get this back. It's into the penalty area and it's off the line. What a wasted opportunity for Borussia Dortmund. They really should be leading 1-0 now. The ball was over on the right-hand side. 3 Dortmund players for just 1 Madrid defender, and somehow they don't score.
Yeah, Yarmolenko, a left foot on the right-hand side, and it cost Dortmund there. He, rather than running onto the ball, he let it go across his body, and I think he did the wrong thing. His cross was a poor one to Aubameyang. Philipp at the back post tries to hook it in, but
now has Ramos. There may well have been. Yes.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's
Navas saves onto it, but he moves his arm as if he's moving the ball away from the goal, doesn't he?
Yeah,
still?
Absolutely. I mean, we still have the 5th officials behind the goal. And it can never work.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't. Well, they are still there. It's just like watching the game for free from the touchline, isn't it? Really, they never actually voice their opinion, and that was an occasion where the 4th official, they could have actually used the goal line technology as well there to see that Ramos had used his hand. But it is just a corner to Dortmund. It's taken short towards the near post, clear to the edge of the area. There was a chance of getting a shot away. Max Philipp with the second effort has it charged down, and potentially a chance for the counter-attack now for Real Madrid, but the ball goes towards Luka Modrić and he is stopped on the halfway line, and Dortmund are back into possession. But that was important for Dortmund to get a chance after a good few minutes of defence. They suddenly had the best chance to score in the game, really. It's comparable to the Bale chance and the Carvajal chance from before.
Yeah, Yarmolenko, he just wanted him to take it on himself, just with the outside of his left foot just driving towards the goal, but he let it go across his body, which I wasn't quite sure about, and didn't look comfortable straight away. And yeah, that was a real opportunity spurned by Dortmund, but again there were gaps for them to exploit, and they almost did.
They almost did, and now it's the Dortmund who having to track back, as it's a ranging run here from Casemiro, and he feeds Ronaldo on the right-hand side. Does the flag go up? It does not. Ronaldo is level, breaks into the penalty area, squares it now for Isco. That's a very heavy touch from Isco, and a very good work in defence. I think that was Gonzalo Castro coming back into his own penalty area, but I mean, Isco wanted a little bit too much time on the ball there, didn't he?
I think it was a poor pass by Ronaldo. He absolutely fired it into him, and it was almost he had to take it on the back foot rather than running onto the ball. And yeah, I think it was a bit of both, really. But Ronaldo, yeah, I think maybe the blame would lie with him.
Well, he said, I thought, like you, I thought he might have been offside when that ball was played to him initially. But here come Madrid again, and there was a long ball to Carvajal. He wasn't offside. He played it to Ronaldo. Now it's back to Luka Modrić. He's around 35 yards out in the middle of the park, under pressure from Max Philipp. Just plays it square to Casemiro and Kroos. Still not seen Kroos get forward really in the game so far. But here come Madrid now down the left-hand side with Nacho and Bale. The pressure there, they go back in towards Sergio Ramos, and he's just at the edge of the centre circle. He's got a couple of options here, Ramos, and one of them is Carvajal down the right-hand side. Carvajal's ball is charged down by Tolian. He really doesn't want to use that left foot, does he? He only had to do a 5-yard pass, but he had to get it onto his right foot first. Here come Borussia Dortmund with a chance to go forward, but Aubameyang is just blocked off at the edge of the centre circle, and he had a lot of space as well if he was able to get past that last defender. Here comes Gareth Bale down the left-hand side now for Madrid. He's got 3 players up there with him. Ronaldo at the edge of the area. Kroos has gone forward. And here is the ball in from Isco. Ronaldo heads it across to Bale. Bale actually got a little bit too close to Ronaldo. So when Ronaldo headed it back, Bale was actually away from the ball, but Madrid still have it. Good control and move forward there from Nacho. Picked up by Isco now on the left-hand edge of the penalty. His shot is charged down. Nacho goes after the second ball. Piszczek doing what he can just to try and shepherd that one away from the Madrid left-back, and he just about manages it. Dortmund are still under pressure though here at the edge of their own penalty area, and Eventually it will go out for a throw, but Real really are starting to press now.
Yeah, this is a bit of roles reverse at the moment, isn't it? Good play by Real, pressing Dortmund back, but it's been a really enjoyable start to the game. Both sides are really going for it, and frenetic and frantic and all those things.
Yeah, I think we were hoping it was going to be quite an open game, and I didn't see this being a chess game of 0-0. I thought both sides would try and go for it, but here's a great ball from Carvajal to Gareth Bale. That is a superb goal from Real Madrid. 17 minutes gone. It's Carvajal 30 yards out with an angled ball from a right to left. Bale at the edge of the area hits it first time with the inside of the boot right into the top corner, and Real lead.
It's a magnificent finish, isn't it, by Gareth Bale? Lovely ball in by Danny Carvajal. He just picks out his man. Bale hanging about. Was he offside? No, he's clearly onside.
He's on.
Piszczek, I think, has let him go there, and it just guides it into the far corner. No chance for Burki. It's 1-0 to Real Madrid.
It's the visitors that take the lead here at the BBV Stadion. It's Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1, and it's Gareth Bale with an absolutely superb strike from the edge of the area. It was Dortmund that started the game better, but in the last few minutes, Real really have been piling on the pressure, and the goal came after Daniel Carvajal put a ball in from the right-hand side. He's about 35 yards out, puts it towards the edge of the area. Gareth Bale just lost his marker. He was onside, and he hits it first time with the left foot inside, and straight into the top corner. Goalkeeper Burki barely moved, and Madrid lead to the BBV Stadion 1-0.
Yeah, really against the run of play somewhat, but it's a magical goal by Gareth Bale. Just guides it into the top corner. Lovely stuff by the Welshman, who's struggled to get into the game so far. Him and Ronaldo have kind of been making the same runs. So Ronaldo more of a centre forward tonight. No Benzema at the moment. Borja Mayoral is the attacking reinforcement. Here is Yarmolenko trying to get one back for Dortmund, but he crosses a poor one, and suddenly there seems to be almost an extra body in a white shirt on the pitch as Carvajal now back to Varane. The Frenchman just calms things down, settles things at the back, and Real Madrid suddenly everyone's taking a touch extra and taking the time a bit more. Yeah,
now they're going to be able to frustrate Dortmund here, aren't they? And Dortmund are starting to leave some gaps in defence as well. That was a long ball to Carvajal. There was nobody anywhere near him, and he's got time and space to find Ronaldo here on the right-hand side. He's at the edge of the area. Cross in from Ronaldo. Just a little bit too high for Bale, and the loose ball is sort of chipped away by Piszczek towards Castro, and Dortmund now trying to get out of their own half, but just 2 passes later they lose possession, and they're just looking a little bit ragged now, the home side. They need a couple of minutes of having the ball just in midfield and being able to get that confidence back that they can push in Madrid. But of course, with Madrid leading now, that's going to be a bit harder.
Yeah, it is. I've got to say, Max Phillips lazy, isn't he?
He is.
The outside right for Real Madrid is always open, and because Carvajal's got extra space and he's stood on the halfway line kind of looking around.
It's just an absolute mile of space between Tolian, the left back, and Philipp, the left midfielder. He's pretty much playing as a left striker. He's hardly getting back into his own half at all. But here come Madrid now down the left-hand side. Nacho on the overlap, edge of the area, puts a cross in along the ground. Probably wasn't the best option, but it deflects off Socrates and it's out for a corner kick.
Yeah, I did enough, didn't he, Nacho? I didn't look comfortable, but a corner kick to the visitors. Joachim Love's in the stadium tonight, the German national coach. Got a number of players to be keeping an eye on. Tony Kroos, of course, for the visitors, and he'll be the man to take the corner kick.
It will be. It's going to be an in-swinger. He's right-footed, and it's over on the left-hand side. 20 minutes gone. Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Tony Kroos with the ball in now, and it's looking for Ronaldo, but Burki gets there just ahead of him. Decent save from the goalkeeper and a decent clearance as well. Finds the man who refuses to come back, Max Philipp, but he does well to control that. He finds Aubameyang, whose touch wasn't particularly good. And there's a diving header from Casemiro just to get the ball back to his goalkeeper. But it just looked like a clearance in the end from goalkeeper Burki, but it actually ended up like being a good pass to Max Philipp.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And good play initially by Philipp, but I don't think his pass to Aubameyang was the best. He struggled for
a bouncing ball, wasn't it?
It was one of those where he needs 2 touches, one to bring it down and one to get it into his stride. And yeah, he's struggled for service so far, Aubameyang, a man who's been linked pretty heavily with Real Madrid in the past. He'll be looking to impress. Hat-trick at the weekend as well, so obviously in good form, but it's the whole thing with strikers, if you don't get the ball you can't score.
No, that's absolutely right. If you want your striker to be an out-and-out striker, he can't keep tracking back. You've got to try and get him the ball in the first place, which normally with Borussia Dortmund is no problem at all, but just in these last 10 minutes or so in this game, the service has become very restricted. He's hardly had a real shot at goal yet, Aubameyang. But Madrid give the ball away now in midfield. Nuri Sahin just goes back into Socrates, and here is Sahin again. Just under pressure there from Ronaldo. Goes back across towards Toprak. And this is what Dortmund need, just a minute of holding on to the ball, trying to find their bearings again, because that goal really did come out of nowhere. What did I say, come out of nowhere? Madrid were having some decent possession and a couple of half chances, but certainly the game was a lot more promising. Yarmolenko leaves that one. He thought he probably was offside, actually. He's probably done the right thing by leaving that, but it does mean that Dortmund now lose possession, and Keylor Navas now with a chance to clear his lines. And as I say, the first few minutes, it looked as though it really was going to be a very promising sub. But you felt as though if Dortmund didn't get a couple of good chances or even score, then there was always going to be a period where Real would come back.
Yeah, I think there's still those doubts over Dortmund, right at the really top level, that they do take maybe 1-2 chances too many to score, don't they? When you've got to take your opportunities, like that one we saw when Yarmolenko went in on goal and fluffed his lines somewhat, and Real Madrid have just shown them what it takes to be the best team in Europe. I saw Real Madrid a few times during the run last year, and they were poor. They were overrun against Napoli in the second leg, and it was just one of those things where they just waited for Napoli to tire themselves out and won 3-1 on the night. And you feel it might be a similar case this evening. Yeah,
well, it's certainly the case that they know they can soak up the pressure, so maybe they've got the confidence that sooner or later the opposition are going to give them that chance to get forward. There's just a bit of possession here for Dortmund near the Real penalty area, so as soon as this action finishes, I'll hand over to Jack. But just as I say that one's given away, and this can actually be a very good counter-attack for Madrid. It's 3-on-3. Modric's ball goes up to Bale. Bale's got a tight angle. He shoots straight at Burki, though. And Burki, who showed in the game at Wembley that he's not great at his near post, on this occasion, though, it was straight at him, and he makes... well, he doesn't catch it, but at least he palms it away.
Yeah, solid save by the Swiss international. And, Gareth Bale scored that great goal, and it's come to life as we see Liverpool are trailing in Moscow against Spartak. Fernando with the goal.
Fernando, yes. And in our game here, it's 23 minutes gone. Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1, and it will be Jack to take you through to half-time.
An interesting one, that, with Liverpool. A very attacking lineup for Jurgen Klopp's side. I think they've had a bit of stick for the defensive work, haven't they? Maybe it's just a case of they're just going to go for it and hopefully outscore the opposition. But trailing so far this evening, Napoli winning at home to Feyenoord, and as I've already mentioned, Real Madrid winning in this game, and Besiktas winning at home to RB Leipzig in Istanbul. Here is Tolian, doesn't want his left foot at all, but he actually crosses this time. Was that a handball by Carvajal? No real complaints by Tolian. He's still going as the young fullback, linked with Tottenham in the summer, signing from Hoffenheim. Can't get the ball back. Great play by Luka Modrić. Little step over and just almost toe pokes it to Toni Kroos, and Real Madrid can break. Isco into Sergio Ramos, who's on the halfway line. I don't think Zinedine Zidane will be too encouraged by that bit of play. He's well out of position, but he's found a good ball to Carvajal. Now Ronaldo certainly got a bit of extra freedom, it seems, this evening. He's got Casemiro inside. He'll find the Brazilian now, Modrić, and Real just dictating the play now on the halfway line. Nacho helps it on to Isco, and now Kroos on the half turn looks for Modrić in the centre circle, and bit of keep ball from Real, and they're just passing it around Dortmund at the moment. Varane forward to Carvajal, not the best pass though by Carvajal, and Philipp brings it away, but rather than go himself, gave it inside to Castro, and they're just going down a few dead ends at the moment are Dortmund, as Tolian smashes it off Casemiro, and out for a throw. We're going to see that Tolian cross. Probably hits his chest, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's... Again, I mean, we'd have to see it from another angle if he's actually sort of angled the arm to try and stop it. But it doesn't look from that one replay we've seen like that's the case. We're hearing shouts of goal next door, so I'm assuming that's... have to wait to see where that's...
Sevilla, I think.
I think that's the Sevilla Maribor game, yeah, that's right. I think that's what our colleagues are...
Enthusiastic Spanish chanting.
Absolutely, yes. But here, Madrid have just lost possession. A chance now for Dortmund to push forward.
Yeah, hint of a dive there by Toni Kroos, and he needs to get back in position. Here is Yarmolenko. Good defending this time by Nacho. Waited for his chance. Got a toe poke in there and out for a throw-in, but Piszczek gets on with it quickly. Now, Yarmolenko really fancies himself against Nacho. Little step over, lollipop. Goes back, turns back onto his left foot. Still got the ball, the Ukrainian. Finally leaving Dynamo Kiev this summer. A number have had a look at him, but Dortmund obviously gave him something that he felt he could sink his teeth into. Wissam Ben Yedder, the goal scorer for Sevilla, so 1-0 at home for them against Maribor. That's the other game in Liverpool's group, of course. Not mention the other game in our pool here. Group H, still Tottenham 0, Apoel 0.
Bit of a makeshift Spurs side, isn't it? We were saying before the game, but you'd still fancy them to have enough over 90 minutes to take 3 points from that.
Yeah, it's a makeshift side. You've still got a pretty strong 11 out, haven't they? And Apoel, you do feel they're going to be the bottom club in this group. Lost 3-0 in the opening set of games throughout.
Yeah, I mean, to them, it's a great group in terms of experience. You know, they get to play in Germany, in Spain, and in England, but and obviously get those 3 great sides coming to their stadium as well. But in terms of getting out of the group, it's very, very tough. Here come Dortmund, though.
Yeah, Philipp tries to feed it through to Mario Gotze, who we've not mentioned so far, have we?
Barely been anywhere near the ball at all.
He commits a foul. Bjorn Kuiper's the man on the spot. Just having a word with Tony Kroos about that earlier incident. Well, we think he may have dived, but I think, are we going to see a replay? No, it's going to be the Gareth Bale shot. Just that extra touch takes him a yard or so wide. Toprak did well to track him, and it's a comfortable save.
Comfortable save because it was straight at the keeper. There was no real angle. I thought Bale was going to really try and shoot to the near post. He's done his homework from the game that Dortmund played in London. Then the goalkeeper really was exposed to that near post.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? As Socrates Papastho wins the ball against Gareth Bale, who was just to foul him, and he yellow cards against the Welshman.
Well, Socrates is pointing to his ear there, as if to say that he'd been caught. Zidane's not too impressed with that. I mean, I think you mentioned Socrates' surname there. I think all commentators around Europe are very happy that he has his first name on his shirt rather than his surname. Do we think that's a yellow card from Bale there?
It's such a grey area, because what Bale can't jump without his arms, and he also can't help that he's taller than Socrates, so he's got to be up higher than he is. The Greek won the ball, so maybe that's probably the argument from the official. It's difficult for Bale there, because he jumps towards the ball.
He does, and you can't jump up with your arms behind your back. No. You've got to get that little bit of leverage, haven't you?
It's not his fault that he's taller and maybe a bit stronger and a bit more powerful than the Dortmund captain. But yellow card for him. First caution of the game to date. And with Dortmund now trying to build from the back. Tolian on the left-hand side into Philipp. Good interplay between those two. Gotze, good ball through to Aubameyang. Cuts inside, trying to go on the outside of Ramos. But Ramos stood him up well. And Carvajal will just sweep up and allow Ramos to clear his lines. First time we've seen Aubameyang there. But I think we saw what a good defender Ramos is there. Clearly knew he's got no chance in a foot race, so he gave himself 2 or 3 yards. Yeah,
Aubameyang slowed down a little bit as well, as if to sort of make himself aware of exactly where Ramos was and what he was going to do once he got to him. But I thought that he could have done a little bit better just to try and get that ball away from the Madrid number 4. But of course, he's one of the best in the world at stopping strikers in their tracks. And as you say, didn't commit himself too early, just stayed with him. And again, Aubameyang just it was almost a hit and hope from him in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think Ramos knew that he was going to try and go on his right, so he went on the left, and it was a bit obvious in the end. And Ramos, we saw it there, he had his eye on the ball all the time, always seemed in control of the situation. Here is Luka Modrić as we pass the half-hour mark. Plenty of action going along around Europe. Of course, more games tomorrow as well, like Manchester United and Chelsea in action. Here is Carvajal. Good start to the game for him.
PSG against Bayern tomorrow night as well.
Yeah,
it's a nice little warm up for a dress rehearsal for a potential final, maybe.
Yeah, well, there's a few, but well, this one could be. And there's some great groups, isn't there, this year? It seems to be. There's a few where you're not quite sure about. I think the Monaco group. With Porto, and I think Besiktas are one of the other teams in there.
And Leipzig as well.
So it's a good group, but
you compare it to this group, for instance, and it's a marked difference. It really is.
Yes, as Burki all the way back clears his lines, aimless really. Varane and Ramos will fancy themselves in the air against Aubameyang all day, and yeah, it was a good start for the home side, but fair play to Real. They've really taken the sting out of the match.
Well, since we last spoke, Real Madrid really have been holding on to the ball a little bit more. But in fairness to Dortmund, they've had a couple of half chances themselves. The best of those was Aubameyang, who went down the middle and had a chance to get past Sergio Ramos. But Ramos just stood his ground, and in the end, Aubameyang's left-footed shot was easily blocked off by Ramos. At the other end, there was a half chance for Gareth Bale, but it was well saved by Roman Burki. It was pretty much straight at him. Bale has been booked as well for using an elbow when jumping with Socrates. Dortmund just need to have a bit more possession in the final third. They're not really getting enough of the ball to Aubameyang, and Madrid are able to soak up any pressure that the home side are creating.
Yeah, big news in Moscow. Coutinho's put Liverpool level now 1-0. And another goal around Europe. Vincent Aboubakar has put Monaco, Porto rather, 1-0 up away at Monaco. I don't think many of us saw that one coming. Monaco, for all the players they've lost, have got a very, very strong team out, especially this evening. But not quite happening for last season's semi-finals. Great ball over the top, looking for Isco. It's Casemiro, almost with a bit of a blind pass, and dinked it over the top. Knew the run from Isco was there, and almost played in his teammate Aubameyang on the halfway line. Piszczek takes over. Yarmolenko, in fact, has the ball. And they're just a bit ragged at the moment, Dortmund. Just looking at the back line, it's almost a dogleg at times.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of chances they've had to go forward, you feel as though if Dortmund got their one good chance, if Aubameyang got that one bit of good service, he would score. But at the same time, you feel if the Real put a good move together, they could easily make it 2-0 as well. But here come Dortmund now through the middle.
Yeah, Gotze into Aubameyang. Oh, it's not a good pass at all. It's behind him. Aubameyang can't get it out of his feet. And Carvajal sweeps up corner kick.
Sometimes it's just a matter of inches, isn't it? But all that Aubameyang wants is that ball in front of him. Gotze puts it behind him. It's not a good ball from the Dortmund number 10, who's not had a very good game at all so far.
He really almost whips it at him as well, doesn't he? When he's more of a sympathetic touch from maybe the outside of the foot there, just to roll it through. And it's not Aubameyang's night tonight, is it? Yarmolenko with the corner kick. Inkswinger with the left foot towards the near post, headed away quite easily by Gareth Bale. Hooked back in by Tolian, to no one really. Navas will take everyone in front of him, and an easy catch in the end. Bit of an awkward situation left back, isn't it, for Dortmund. Tolian there tonight. Zagadou has played in the league, but Schmelz has been the mainstay, and Eric Durm always seems to be injured. The World Cup winning fullback always seems to be injured. It's a real contrast to with Piszczek on the other side. He has been the right back for a long, long time for Borussia Dortmund, and it's strange how things like that work out.
Yeah, well, Piszczek was originally part of a three-man sort of Polish unit here at Dortmund, and they pretty much occupied that right-hand side. It was Piszczek in defence, then it was Błaszczykowski in midfield, and then Lewandowski up front. But of course, Lewandowski and Błaszczykowski have moved on since then, and Piszczek has been ever-present. He really has been at Dortmund for a long time, and has been ever-present as the Polish right-back as well.
Yeah, he's a really, really good player, Piszczek. I think when he first burst onto the scene, he was all pace and power, wasn't he? But was he a centre forward at first, and then he gradually got moved back and as a right back. But he's very, very clever, very, very quick, but very, very clever as well.
Yeah, but I think that it helps that he is a former centre forward. How good he was is another matter, but he knows what centre forwards are thinking, and he's able to read that as over on the left hand side now. Dortmund give it away again. Max Philipp with just a hopeful ball into the box, but it's straight into the arms of Navas.
Yeah, struggling to get in the game as we see the Dortmund substitutes looking on intently on the bench for them. Zagadou, as we mentioned, Weidenfeller, the veteran goalkeeper, Matt Barcher, Mahmoud Dahoud, Christian Pulisic, lots been said about him, Shinji Kagawa, and Julian Weigler, who scored an absolute peach at the weekend.
I'm surprised that Weigler doesn't start. I would have had him playing ahead of Gotze, I must admit.
Gotze. I think it might be a case of can they have him and
Sahin
in the same team as, and I think he's been injured as well, so maybe he's just working his way back to fitness. We'll give you the Real Madrid subs in a second. In fact, I'll do that now because Sahin has had a shot from 30 yards and it's gone well over the crossbar. Kiko Casilla, the goalkeeper, Vasquez, Llorente, Hakimi, Asensio, Mayoral, and Ceballos. So not too many options, or recognised and established options, I think it's fair to say, for Real Madrid. But the starting 11 they've got on at the moment is doing pretty well. Yeah,
it certainly is, and we're seeing in the crowd there, just in the grey, we can see another player, of course, that's had his injury problems over the last few years.
Yeah, Marco Reus. Trying to remember when he was last fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a similar situation, I think, to what happened with Ings at Liverpool, where he came back, and during his recovery, I think he sort of furthered his injury, I think, or something.
Oh, right.
But in any case, he has been out for quite some time now, Marco Reus, and that's one that they'll be very keen to get back at some stage.
You always worry, don't you, with Marco Reus? You don't want to tempt fate, but you can see him getting fit and then being injured for the major championships, because that always seems to happen.
Yeah, maybe he should wait until he gets fit after the World Cup then.
Yeah, or just rock up to training on the first day for Germany and say, "Oh, I've been fit all the time. I've just been keeping it quiet," as Burki now well out of his goal, 30, 40 yards out. Real Madrid have fallen back almost like basketball style, everyone back in their own half. Gonzalo Castro can turn, but not really going anywhere here. Toprak, Sevilla 2-0. We'll give you the goal scorer in a second, but bit of space here for Tolian on the left-hand side. He's got Philipp inside him. He's got 4 shirts around him though, so can't really give too much of an incisive pass, but he gives it to Castro. Shooting opportunity. Piszczek through to Aubameyang. Turns well. Finishes. Oh! He's offside. We'll spare him his blushes. But he didn't hit the target.
Well, he
really should have done.
He really should have done. As I say, the flag goes up, so if he had hit the net, it wouldn't have counted. Should he have been given offside? Yes.
Yeah, I think his arm.
His arm. You can't score with your arm, and apparently only parts of the body that can score can be offside, but we know that's not the case. All it takes is a sleeve sometimes to be offside, and you're going to get given. And I mean, he rushed that shot a little bit. I wonder if he had it in his mind that he probably was offside. Maybe he can see the flag going up in the corner of his eye, but that wasn't a good shot from 10 yards out.
Yeah, Ben Yedder's got the second one for Sevilla.
Yeah, and Spurs lead against Apoel as well. As they say, Apoel 0, Spurs 1, and we'll give you the goal scorer in just a moment. Not had it confirmed as yet, but that's an important one for Spurs just a few minutes before half-time.
Yeah, Aubameyang, and there's a foul off the ball, and it's going to be a free kick and a yellow card to Danny Carvajal, who is one of those who sometimes can't help himself. A foul.
I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying I was just running, and I couldn't avoid that one. He's not protesting too much. He goes straight to Max Philipp to apologise to him as well.
Yeah, we'll just see the replay. No, he fouls him.
Yeah, to be
fair as well, they've stolen a few yards there, Dortmund, haven't they? And it's now a shooting opportunity. So second yellow card. Yeah, Carvalho, he can't help himself, can he, at times? There's no need for that foul.
There's not. I mean, there was still a little while to go before that pass would have gone anywhere near the man he was chasing, but he just wanted to be sure, Carvajal, that the ball didn't reach him. Sergio Ramos still acting as a spokesman there, trying to point out some previous decisions that perhaps his side didn't get. This is a good, well, it's probably about 5 or 6 yards outside the D, so this is quite a long way out, but there's a whole committee of players waiting to take this one.
Yeah, Aubameyang's there. Gonzalo Castro looks like he's taking charge, 30-year-old, standing over the ball. There's Papastho can hit them as well. There's another yellow card.
And that's either for Ramos or for Casemiro.
Well, I think it's Modrić.
Or is it Modrić
shaking his head, so I think it's, Real Madrid are making a bit of a mess out of this, so he's the third man to go in the book for Los Blancos.
Yeah, and he looks... What's interesting is that he looks sort of just a little bit disappointed, whereas the rest of his teammates were really arguing their case. I suppose Modrić doesn't want to push it now that he has seen a yellow card go his way. He's still asking the question of our Dutch official, but the yellow card has been given, and it's an opportunity now for Dortmund once the referee finally gets all this sorted out. Yeah,
so it does look like Castro. The wall looks some way back, to be fair, just inside the Real Madrid area. It is well out, this free kick. It's Aubameyang hits it straight into the wall, and it just goes out for a throw-in.
Just a throw-in, yeah.
Yeah, deep right down by the corner flag.
Wasn't a good free kick from Aubameyang. I think he was trying to be cute with it, and I think we're not seeing a replay of the shot just yet. We're seeing a replay of why the referee gave that yellow card. I think it was... He is very unlucky there, Modrić, because he wasn't in that original wall that refused to get back. He was actually stood away from it.
Well, what he was doing, he was saying to the referee, we're too far back, and he was pacing it out, right. I think. And I think Bjorn Kuipers took exception.
It's amazing, isn't it? You can swear at a referee and they don't mind, but if you tell the referee that he's counted 2 steps too many, he'll book you for it.
And going by the lines on the pitch, they did look way too far back, as Yarmolenko's crossing isn't the best. Comes off Ramos out for another corner kick, but just a feeling now as we edge towards the break that Dortmund are getting back on top.
Yeah, it's been a while now since Real have had any kind of attacking possession. In fairness, Dortmund haven't... Well, they've had that good opportunity for Aubameyang when he was offside, but they're having more possession inside the Real half, but still not creating the clear-cut chances, maybe from this set piece.
Yeah, Yarmolenko's delivery hasn't been great so far, and
he sticks with that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and goodness me. Is that our friend Max Philipp again?
Philipp overhead kick, doesn't amount to anything. And out for a goal kick. That's one thing that Dortmund, they have struggled with quality in the final third, and it's been levelled at them, especially in the Tuchel years, that they're a young team, they're still learning the game, but eventually you've got to make that move.
Well, I mean, what you said there about Yarmolenko, you would expect an under-19 to get crosses into the box, on demand. He's got to do better with the set pieces, because they have had a couple of corner kicks and free kicks which they could have used, and they've just not been able to do it.
Yeah, long clearance by Keylor Navas, Bale now in the left channel, level with the edge of the Dortmund box. Cross is deflected. The heads go. Piszczek's not entirely convincing, and Burki in the end reaches up. And
well, that's definitely one area where Piszczek is probably as weak as is in the air. He's not too good with his head, but here comes Castro now for Dortmund.
Yeah, Castro's going to have to do it all on his own because there's not too many bodies around. Eventually, Tolian, who looks a bit more comfortable in this position, gives it to Sahin, and now Toprak will feed it to Papastho. Wide now to Yarmolenko. He's coming all the way inside. And dinks a lovely ball actually to Gotze. I thought he was going down a bit of a blind alley there, but Gotze now, edge of the area, will find Tolian. Once on his right foot, whips a decent ball in there, only onto the head of Sergio Ramos. And then it's helped, well, all the way back to Roman Burki. They're making good territory at the moment, are at Borussia, but again, maybe it's a bit of the Real Madrid game plan. Every time it goes in the box, there's so many bodies in white shirts.
It is. I mean, Real have done their homework on Dortmund, you have to say, because Dortmund really started off like a train in this game, and Real didn't seem too worried about getting out of their own half, but they were patient. They waited their turn, and eventually they could have actually been 2 or 3 up before Dortmund had their next spell. But here come Dortmund again now with a chance. The ball almost reaches Aubameyang, but he gets a second chance as a slip there from Sergio Ramos. But Aubameyang's ball to Yarmolenko was just a bit short.
Yes, 2-0 now to Besiktas at home to RB Leipzig, but we've got a counter-attack here. It's Kroos. He'll find Ronaldo, right edge of the box. He's going to have a go at Tolian here. I imagine he's going to go on his own. Cuts aside, left foot, takes his time, smashes it into Toprak. A bit like Carvajal there, maybe just a touch greedy from Ronaldo.
Yeah, and again, didn't need to take the shot. The defender was still quite a long way away from him. Dortmund may have another chance here as the ball goes screaming down the down the right-hand side as they look, but doesn't quite reach Yarmolenko.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the Besiktas goal scorer as soon as it comes through. But Anderson Talisca, the second goal for the Turkish side, who, if you're a betting man, were an brilliant price tonight if you follow a bit of Turkish football and know that Leipzig aren't the best on the road. Here is Ronaldo back off Carvajal, and again he shoots for goal, and we shouldn't be surprised, but it's the wrong option for me.
It is the wrong option. There are other options as well. As you said, he could have tried to play it square to Isco, who was in a much better position in the middle of the penalty area. Ronaldo was just slightly over to one side of it. I mean, this is the previous effort we're seeing a replay of now, where he shoots. I mean, that one clearly hits Toprak there around about the waist, and while Ronaldo's appealing for a handball, I think it's just out of habit, isn't it? Just put your hand up and say penalty just in case.
Yes, into the final minute of the opening 45. Long clearance by Burki onto the head of Ramos. Maybe a bit of a rethink, I think, by Peter Bosch at the break. I don't mind seeing him maybe just pushing Gotze closer to Aubameyang just to give him a bit of support.
I mean, I think, or perhaps change Gotze, because he really is doing very little at the moment. But what's one thing that Peter Bosch can be happy about is that his side have seen plenty of the ball, so it's just a case of same again with the possession, but just do more with it.
Yeah, maybe Pulisic might be an option to come on. He really is a bit of a wonder kid, isn't he? 1 minute
Kagawa as well.
Time. Yeah, Kagawa as well.
Kagawa could certainly do something in midfield to try and get a bit more pressure on that Real defence. But in the meantime, the visitors have gone up front. It's deflected off Socrates, and with just 40 seconds of injury time, we're going to get a corner.
Yeah, as you imagine, Real Madrid just taking the time. Ramos and Varane coming up. Kroos will be the man to take it, as a number of the games now at half-time, including the Tottenham Nacho v Tottenham. Ball in the box, free header for Ramos. Oh, it should be 2-0 to Real Madrid. He knows it as well, does Sergio Ramos.
Oh, he should score there, Jack. He really should. As Ramos jumps up for this, he's actually, you could say that maybe he's just a little bit, just angling his header a little bit away from goal there to try and get it away from the defender, but that really is a very good chance. It was a good ball. It just goes to show what a good delivery can do. Yeah,
lovely ball in by Kroos, wasn't it, as he sweeps it wide to Carvajal. All eyes on the referee. Might get another break here though for Borussia Dortmund if he can keep it in. Aubameyang having a run at Varane. Varane backing off. Little blind pass to Gotze, but he's going away from goal, and the referee does call time on this first half. Dortmund started ever so well, but Real have come into things, and Gareth Bale's goal, brilliant it was as well, gives them the lead at the break. At the break then, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1.
Half time at the BVB Stadion, it's Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Borussia had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's Dortmund really did push at Zidane's. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosz's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test. Keylor Navas and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test Navas, and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test Navas, and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. Half-time at the BVB Stadion, Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 1. Dortmund had a good start to the game. Peter Bosch's side really were pushing at Zidane's Madrid, but as the first half wore on, they just started to lose a bit of possession in midfield, and the goal came after a counter-attack. A superb ball from Carvajal over from the right-hand side, found Gareth Bale. He hit it first time with the left foot into the top corner. Towards the end of the first half, a bit more possession and a few half chances for Dortmund, but they didn't really test Navas, and Madrid had chances to make it 2-0. They did have chances to make it 2-0, but it is still 1-0 to Real Madrid at the start of this second half. Gareth Bale's goal on 18 minutes, giving Zidane's side the lead. It's independent off-tube studio commentary from the BVB Stadion. Myself, Paul Shimakovic and Jack Ogilby taking you through the second half, and Dortmund straight away trying to get forward. Gets just flicks a ball forward now, looking for Yarmolenko right at the edge of the area. Acrobatic clearance there from Nacho, but it does the job. He gets it away from the penalty area. The home side straight back into possession. I can't see any changes so far. We were thinking, Jack, at half-time that maybe Mario Gotze might have been one for that could be changed, because he just didn't see any of the ball. And when he did have it, he didn't really do anything with it. We'll come back to that in a second, because there's a great chance straight away. It's Götze's ball into the box. There you go, and it was his ball to Yarmolenko. He then heads it across towards the far side of the 6-yard box. It just needed a touch, but Varane is there. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, Yarmolenko, I think, does the right thing, trying to nod it across goal, because Navas has him covered, and Varane, it's such good play by the French defender. He moves almost a half a step quicker than everybody else, because you can see exactly what's going to happen as soon as the ball goes into the box and gets a clearance. And you saw that the players there, the Real Madrid players, giving him the high fives. They know how much that means. That
was an excellent clearance. Here comes Götze's ball, and that wasn't a bad corner. It was certainly better than a couple of the ones from Yarmolenko in the first half, but it's still headed away at the near post by Ramos. It goes back to Yarmolenko. Sorry, it goes back to Gotze, I should say. His cross is charged down and cleared towards the half-line. Just remind you of the two sides very quickly. Can't see any changes, so it's Roman Burki in goal for Dortmund, with Łukasz Piszczek, Socrates, Omer Toprak and Jeremy Tolian as the four across the back. It's Gonzalo Castro, Nuri Sahin and Mario Gotze as a three in midfield, with Andriy Yarmolenko, Max Philipp and Patrick Aubameyang as the three front men. For Madrid, it's Keylor Navas in goal, with Daniel Carvajal, Rafael Varane, Sergio Ramos and Nacho as the four across the back. Toni Kroos, Casemiro and Luka Modrić are the three in midfield, with the goal scorer Gareth Bale, Isco and Cristiano Ronaldo making up the front three.
Yes, another goal incidentally in the game between Napoli and Feyenoord. Dries Mertens, surprise I suppose, he has turned into a super striker. He's got the second for the Partenope. Yeah,
it really has become a bit of a goal-scoring threat. But here come Madrid, though, with a goal-scoring threat. It's Luka Modrić at the edge of the area. We just needed to get it to Kroos, who was waiting at the edge of the D. The pass is charged down, but it goes back to Modrić. He puts the ball in towards Isco, and Isco tries to feed Ronaldo just at the edge of the 6-yard box. Just a little bit too strong, the pass there from Isco.
Yeah, he's been sharp, hasn't he? Roman Burki coming off his line and did well there, diving at the feet of Ronaldo. Like you say, Isco, a great start to the season, a great last 6 months, but he's not really been at it, as we've seen Manchester City have taken the lead at home to Shakhtar.
Yeah, a colleague who was doing that game says that Shakhtar really did put up a bit of resistance, but to concede so early in the second, you'd imagine that City will go on to win that game, perhaps getting a couple of other goals. Here come Dortmund again, though. It's Gotze. We've seen a lot of the ball in these early stages of the second half. His cross into the area is cleared, and now Isco trying to keep the ball in play for Madrid down the left-hand side. He flicks it forward to Sergio Ramos, of all people. He's herring down the left-hand side now as an emergency winger. He gets all the way to the edge of the area and he feeds Gareth Bale, and Ramos carries on his run. Bale now at the edge of the penalty area, puts it across just a little bit too high for Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is still able to pick up the loose ball himself over on that right hand side, having to play it back to Carvajal now. But that's not the first time we've ever seen that. Sergio Ramos does like to go on the odd run occasionally.
Yeah, he does, and he looked pretty silky when he was going forward, and I thought Ronaldo should have scored there. His jump was all over the place. He totally mistimed it. I thought it was a decent ball by Bale, and Ronaldo seemed to jump under the ball rather than bide his time a bit more.
I thought he jumped a little bit too soon there as well. Just he didn't really read the flight of the ball. But Toni Kroos, what a great ball that is to find Gareth Bale. He's onside. He puts it into Ronaldo, and it's 2-0 to Madrid. After a good few minutes from Dortmund start to the second half, it's Real who go up the other end with a couple of half chances, and they take their chance this time. Bale down the left-hand side to Ronaldo, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, this time along the ground from Gareth Bale. Feeds it into Cristiano Ronaldo, left-footed, 10 yards out. Doesn't miss those, does he? It was a great ball through by Toni Kroos, as Paul mentioned. Then Bale slides it to Ronaldo. Yeah, 12 yards out. An easy goal in the end.
It's now 2-0 to Real Madrid at the BVB Stadion. After the first couple of minutes in the second half, Borussia Dortmund were actually doing well. They were pushing forward. They had a chance very early on, but a decent clearance from Rafael Varane. But then just a couple of minutes of pressure from Real Madrid has given them their second goal. It was Toni Kroos in midfield who flicks a lovely ball down the left-hand side for Gareth Bale. Bale breaks into the penalty area, looks up, plays a ball along the ground to Cristiano Ronaldo, and from 12 yards out with the left foot, Ronaldo drills it past goalkeeper Roman Burki, and Real Madrid in a commanding position now. It's Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 2.
Yes, it is, and already a few of the Dortmund players having a bit of a look around at each other, as you'd imagine. They know how important this game is. Dortmund have got a brilliant record traditionally against Real Madrid, but it's simply not happened for them this evening. Bright start, didn't come to anything, and since then Madrid have almost picked them off. Almost like classic experienced boxer against a bit of a young pup. Here is Ronaldo, left edge of the box. He's got Nacho outside him, chooses to use the number 6 as well. Now Kroos, who's been as smooth and elegant as ever. He'll go back to Casemiro, again played his part, the Brazilian. And he gives it into the feet of Bale, off to Modrić, and very much what we expect now is Real Madrid to just knock the ball around and I think just pick Dortmund off. Yeah,
I think that what Dortmund have to do now is get a goal quickly so that they're only down by 1, and then that will make Madrid feel a little bit more nervous about the scoreline as well. As it is, Madrid are going to feel very comfortable. That we already saw in the first half when they scored their first goal how comfortable they were. Now at 2-0, they're just going to be able to soak everything up unless Dortmund mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, you think so, don't you? They are trying to do something, aren't they, Dortmund? But you can't really see the outlets at the moment. Peter Bosz obviously likes his 4-2-3-1 formation. It's how Dortmund have played for years now, really. But just seems to be everyone just seems to be a yard off where they need to be. And Real Madrid, they're just such a good team in terms of experience and just know-how as much as anything. And they always seem to be in the right position.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. And as you said, they weathered that very early storm in this second half. Could have very easily been 1-1 had it not been for Varane getting that last-ditch header in. But straight up the other end. Oh, that's a strong challenge there from Ousmane Toprak. But referee, well, I thought for a second referee was just going to tell him off, but it did seem like a strong challenge. And eventually Bjorn Kuipers does get the yellow card out, and I think rightly so.
Yeah, I think so as well. A sliding challenge there by Toprak. Nowhere near the ball. Isco too good for him there on that occasion. And the summer rival from Bayer Leverkusen receives a deserved yellow card.
Certainly does, and an opportunity now for Real Madrid, although in fairness it was quite a long way out. There was no need for them to hoof that ball into the box with the scoreline being what it is, so they just go back into their own half, but still in possession on the halfway line now with Casemiro. He plays it back in towards Rafael Varane. Now it's with Modrić. Modrić short to Isco, who really does have this free role. You see him sometimes playing as an additional striker, sometimes very deep in midfield. Here comes Cristiano Ronaldo, though, tries to backheel it towards Carvajal. It wasn't the best ball from Ronaldo, and it doesn't quite reach the Madrid number 2. So here is a chance now for the Dortmund to try and push forward down the left-hand side. Here is Gonzalo Castro. He's not really known for his pace, so he's going to have to hold the ball up and wait for a bit of support. Still no movement on that Dortmund bench, but you'd imagine they're going to have to do something soon. They have got quite a few attacking and midfield options on that bench. We'll talk about those again in just a moment, but here's another chance. Ball into the penalty area, and there's a goal. That brings Borussia Dortmund straight back into it. It was a crossover from the left-hand side. It wasn't particularly good marking. Aubameyang just sticks a leg out, and it's a decent finish from close range.
Yeah, he gets in between Varane and Ramos there, and just hangs the leg out and gets it past the goalkeeper, who's absolutely no chance. It's a nice ball in by Philipp, and he actually gets the run on Ramos there, and Borussia Dortmund wrote them off, but back in the game now.
It's game on at the BVB Stadion. It's Borussia Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 2. Dortmund have a goal back in this game, and it was just a bit of possession in midfield for the home side. They got it down the left-hand side, and Gonzalo Castro had a bit of space to get his cross in, and Aubameyang wasn't really marked inside the penalty area. It was a good ball straight onto the foot of Aubameyang, who was able to get it past Keylor Navas and give Dortmund a fighting chance in this game. After they went 2-0 down, you felt as though Madrid were really going to be in command of this game, but now at 2-1, the home side will still believe they have a chance.
Yes, they will. Real Madrid trying to hit back and restore their advantage. Ooh, it's a foot on left in by Aubameyang on Nacho. Feeling the after effects there, the defender, but it was advantage to Real Madrid, and here they come again. Isco down the right hand side. We'll find Carvajal. Carvajal driving at the defence, but comes to nothing in the end. Goes back to Isco, and now Modrić will look to open up the play. He's got Ramos inside him, and Bale too. Kroos into Varane. Now Isco, and he seems to have come to life actually, but that's a poor pass by him. Nuri Sahin has had a quiet evening, plays it forward, and well, again, there's not enough bodies around him.
No, there's not. I mean, he gets that ball, he twists and turns twice, then he lays it off to an invisible teammate, just leaves it for Isco. So now a chance for Madrid to take advantage of that gift of possession. It's Luka Modrić going through the middle, lays it off towards Toni Kroos. Kroos gets to the edge of the area. He has Ronaldo out on his left-hand side, and here is Ronaldo now, puts a ball in towards the far post. It's not a bad ball, it needs dealing with, and it was dealt with in the end by Tolian. He gets his header away. Now Castro picks it up for Dortmund, and he lays it off towards Yarmolenko, still deep inside his own half here, the Ukrainian front man, having to cut back in onto his left foot. Then it plays a lovely outside of the boot pass towards the left hand side for Mario Gotze. Gotze has a few options. He just holds the ball up and lays it off now towards Tolian. Tolian's cross into the 6-yard box. Oh, it just needed a touch. And the Dortmund player at the edge of the 6-yard box didn't quite see. Was that Philipp, or was it? I think it was Yarmolenko. He actually hits the deck and starts pounding the deck. So angry that he missed that one because he was so close to getting the equaliser there.
Yeah, you feel they've got the bit between the teeth again now, Dortmund, don't you? And Yarmolenko thinks he should have scored there. Tolian, was a great ball, and he's barely used his left foot, but he just angled it round the defender there. It was a great ball, and just agonisingly close for Yarmolenko.
Well, here come Real now down the right-hand side. It was just a bit of a heavy touch, though, from Gareth Bale. It's very unlike him, really, but that made it a bit easier for Tolian to get a leg in and put it out for a throw. 56, nearly 57 minutes gone here at the BVB Stadion. I'm very happy to say it's exactly the sort of game that we were expecting to see.
Yeah, it was, and I think we're both a bit almost disappointed when Dortmund didn't, when Real Madrid took the lead, because we thought that was the way it was going to go. But Dortmund have really come back now. Obviously Real going 2-0 up, but Dortmund getting the quick fire equalisers really sparked the game back into life, as we see Carvajal gets a knock off Nuri Sahin.
Yeah, it's a bit of a clumsy one, that, but this is a very good opportunity for Madrid now, because they can get the ball in from this right hand side. It's level with the edge of the area. Right footed Toni Kroos standing over this one, and he's got a couple of options inside the penalty area. He's just waiting for his teammates to get in position. Kroos' ball towards the far post. There's some pushing and shoving as well. Ramos is holding his hands up like he felt he might have been impeded there. The header in the end from Nacho goes straight to Burki, and he clears this one straight down the middle, the Swiss goalkeeper, but that one is dealt with and cleared towards the halfway line, where Ramos was still returning from that free kick. The important thing for Madrid is that they have possession again, and here is a chance now for Isco down the left-hand side. Finds Ronaldo. Ronaldo plays it inside towards Kroos. Kroos under pressure, though, has to play it back in towards Nacho. Now Sergio Ramos. And the ball goes back towards Varane. Varane now towards the right-hand side for Carvajal. Great ball from Carvajal. It looked like a great ball from Carvajal, and Ronaldo was already waiting to pull the trigger there with the left foot. But Piszczek is there again to get a header. It actually gets a pat on the back from Ronaldo as well.
Yeah, again, I think Ronaldo needs to be a bit more proactive there. Like a few years ago, he would have launched himself at that, and you'd fancy him to score. But I think he waits and waits and waits.
Yeah, he's just assuming the defender's not going to get it. Yeah, whereas as you say, maybe the Ronaldo a few years ago would have actually pushed for that one. And Madrid have actually got a second chance from the cleared corner. It was played towards the edge of the area, and then a cross in looking for Sergio Ramos, but he was adjudged to have committed a foul. He doesn't agree with that, as is usually the case. But it is a free kick to Dortmund. They've taken it short, and now they're in possession. Still deep inside their own half, not a real outlet to get forward at the moment. So I said we'd go through their substitutes again, Jack, and they've got a couple of options, haven't they, in terms of attacking threat? They could certainly use Pulisic, Kagawa, and Weigl as well.
Yeah, I think Pulisic, Weigl actually is going to come
Weigl
on.
Is, yeah.
And is that Kagawa maybe?
We certainly saw a 33. I'm not sure if we saw a 23 as well, but there's definitely Weigl's definitely going to be coming on, and Kagawa wouldn't be a bad idea either, just to get a bit more of an attacking prowess in that midfield. But here come Dortmund in the meantime anyway, and it's a ball in. Oh, it's not a bad ball at all from. It looks like it was Sahin's ball in, but it's headed away from by Ramos because Aubameyang was waiting. Then a strike from Yarmolenko, which takes a deflection along the way, but it doesn't make the save any harder for Navas. If anything, it actually straightens the ball out a little bit, and the goalkeeper makes a comfortable save.
Yeah, and better again by Dortmund, but they're just so ragged. There's no real shape to the team. It's a good challenge. Is it by Sahin? No, a foul on Isco. They have a bit of a laugh. Apoel are now trading 2-0 at home to Tottenham. Just have a look. In fact, it's Mahmoud Dahoud who will come on. Sahin's one of the men to be.
I thought that Dahoud was more of a defensive midfielder. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Sahin's going to be going off for. In fact, Dahoud, it looks like Dahoud's going to play as left back, is he here? Dahoud as left back, or maybe they're going to go to 3 at the back?
Maybe they're going to go to 3 at the back, yeah. I'm just trying to get my head around it, really. You thought maybe Castro will go in as one of the full backs, but I think 3 at the back. Piszczek, Papastho, and Toprak. That might be the option, but it does look like Dahoud's gone out onto the far side, which is... not one I think we were expecting.
No, I wasn't. I wouldn't have expected that. I must admit. But the important thing is that 2 changes have been made by Peter Bosz with Julian Weigl, who, let's face it, when he's fit and on form, he starts every game, really, doesn't he, in that midfield?
Yeah, he does. Harry Kane with the second goal for Spurs this evening. They look like they're heading for all 3 points. It'll be 6 from 6, won't it, for Tottenham as things stand?
Of course, games against Madrid coming up as well for Spurs. They need to get as many points as they can on the board before those games come. Here come Madrid, though, down the right-hand side. It was a ball in from Carvajal. It's cleared, but it goes straight back to Daniel Carvajal. And then he plays it back to Casemiro, and he goes all the way back towards the halfway line for Sergio Ramos. Madrid captain up towards Isco. It really is seems to be sitting deeper in this second half. Kroos is just caught in possession there. This could be a chance now for Dortmund to get forward. Ball played down towards the right-hand side. Here's Yarmolenko. He's got 3 players up there with him. He tries to feed it. It's miscontrol by Gonzalo Castro. That's just a bit of positioning misfortune, you could say, for Dortmund, really, because of all the attacking players going up on that attack. Castro was probably the least attack-minded, and it's his miscontrol that has wasted that opportunity. But here come Real now down the left-hand side. Bale's ball in, and it does actually find its target as well. It was Modrić, but he can only get a toe end to it, really, and it's a comfortable save for Roman Burki.
Yeah, it was great play, wasn't it, by Yarmolenko and Castro? Maybe a wrong man, wrong time, like you were saying. He took his eye off the ball, pure and simple. Again, Dortmund come forward, but it's a loose pass in the end. But did he pick it up? No, it's a foul. I think, in fact, Dahoud has gone into the middle with a back 3, but no real obvious wing back. So,
well, it's an interesting one because Piszczek has never really played as a centre back. He's a mid, as you said, a striker midfielder who's then gone on to become a defender. So having him as one of the 3 with Socrates and Toprak really does could expose Dortmund. But I think the idea is that midfield is going to have to be so compacted to stop anything that Madrid are going to try and do.
Yeah, looks like the option is Navas clears, but yeah, he just left the ball behind. Pardon me. Castro there. Ooh, that's not a good challenge.
That's not a good challenge at all.
Weigl, yellow card.
Yeah. He says it's his first one, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're on the pitch 30 seconds and you punch someone in the face, you can't say, "Ref, it's my first one." I mean, that's obviously that's not what he did there. I should make that very clear. But it's a shocker, and I tell you what, a different angle. If he'd been on the pitch for longer, he may have even got a harsh red for that one, I would say.
It's a really poor challenge, isn't it, by Weigl? And yep, like you say, another referee may have taken a dimmer view on that one.
It's not a good challenge at all there, and a couple of his teammates having a word with him as well. 63 minutes gone at the BVB Stadion. Borussia Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 2. And it's a good opportunity now for Madrid. This free kick is around 35 yards out. Standing over it is Toni Kroos. He's got a couple of options if he wants to try and flick it towards the penalty area, which he does. Wasn't done particularly well, easily headed away, but the second ball drops to Ramos. And he tries to head it towards Isco down the Madrid left-hand side, but that one is cleared, and it goes straight to Aubameyang, who's able to get down the right-hand side. His first touch, he wanted to put the ball ahead of himself so that he could have a run at it, but by doing that, he allowed Casemiro to get in a challenge, although the throw-on has been quickly taken, and now Yarmolenko gets the ball in towards... Oh, he tried to get a 1-2 there with Gotze, but they misunderstood each other there a little bit, and the ball has now been cleared by Madrid, but not particularly far. It drops straight to Weigl. He finds opportunity at the edge of the area now. It's a good opportunity inside the box as well. He couldn't quite get his shots away though. It looks like it was Yarmolenko that broke into the box there. Couldn't quite get his shots away. And in the meantime, the ball has been cleared down towards the edge of the Dortmund penalty area as Bale dived. What's the referee going to do here? He says nothing at all. Well, I mean, my colleague there was expecting some kind of punishment there for Gareth Bale, perhaps for a dive. Referee decides it wasn't a foul, but it wasn't a dive, or maybe he might...
Socrates clearly wins the ball, and he takes 2 or 3 steps and throws himself to the ground there. And it's not like a natural dive. He kind of goes down in stages. He goes his knees totally go, don't they? It's poor play from Gareth Bale.
Not good from Gareth Bale. The ball is still with Dortmund going forward now, so they haven't had a replay. He was going to get a strike from the edge of the area, which is charged down. The loose ball doesn't quite sit with Julian Weigl, but he's still able to flick it towards this right-hand side for Piszczek. He's under pressure, so he goes back in towards Toprak. And here come Dortmund again. The ball is played towards the edge of the area. Quickly a turn there inside the box from Max Philipp, but that one is cleared to the halfway line.
Well, Bale's already in a yellow card as well, so... Be interested to see a replay. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but Socrates definitely wins the ball, and Bale, the ball's going through to Burki, and it looks like Bale just goes to the ground. Yeah,
well, there's a bit of admin to tell you about from other games. Spurs now go 3-0 up away at Apoel. In that same group, Besiktas Leipzig has been interrupted. I'm not really quite sure what's happened there, but we can only make assumptions as to maybe some kind of a crowd issue. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. In the game between Napoli and Feyenoord, it is still 2-0 to Napoli, but Feyenoord have just missed a penalty, so it really hasn't been a particularly joyous start for the Dutch side back in the Champions League after a long absence. Still no news exactly as to what happened, what's going on at Besiktas, but that game is currently been paused, if you like. We're not quite sure when that's going to be restarting again. There's a strong challenge inside the centre circle there from Casemiro. Doesn't win the ball as far as the referee's concerned. It will be a free kick.
Yeah, it will be a free kick. Casemiro, just a bit of niggle in the game now, isn't there? Both sides, maybe just a few tired legs out there, and the players just leaving the odd foot in. But Dortmund are winning the territory battle, I think it's fair to say, at the moment, but without any real chances.
No, they're not able to get near the penalty area as such. They've got a lot of possession in midfield, but they're trying to go down the left-hand side now. Gotze, who's got a lot more of a free roll in the second half. Oh, that's a great ball into the penalty area, just flicked on by Aubameyang. It's hit the side netting from Pierre Aubameyang. I'm not sure if the flag goes up. I don't think it does. I don't think he was offside. In actual fact, there was always a yard in between his shot and the post, but it still looked dangerous for a second there, didn't it?
That was the classic half the stadium thought it was in there, wasn't it? It hit the outside of the net, but good movement and very deep defending by Real Madrid. Obviously, they want to counter at the pace of Aubameyang, and to add insult to injury for Feyenoord, Napoli 3-0 up now.
Just straight after that, they concede a third, don't they? So it's still Borussia Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 2, but Dortmund have made 2 changes. Mohamed Dahoud and Julian Weigl coming on for Tolian and Sahin to try and get a bit more shape in midfield. It looks like they've gone to 3 at the back to just try and swamp anything that Madrid do in midfield and try and get forward. Dortmund have seen a lot of the ball in the last few minutes, but they haven't really created too many chances apart from one good ball in from the left-hand side, which very nearly got finished off by Aubameyang, but it was well defended. Another opportunity for Aubameyang, but he only hit the side netting. Dortmund need to keep the ball now because the Real have looked dangerous on a couple of occasions where they've got forward. Gareth Bale was lucky to avoid a yellow card for what looked like a blatant dive, but it's still Dortmund 1, Madrid 2.
Yeah, Jose Callahan with the third goal for Napoli. Here is Philipp. Crosses it in towards Aubameyang, but it was just too strong. Just looking at the way Dortmund are lining up now, it's almost a 3-3-4. Gotze looks like he's gone right up alongside.
What do we think? Is that you're not withdrawing what you said before,
no,
right?
I'm not.
It doesn't look good, does it?
He does get a touch, but he he sees the ball's going away from him and screams and throws his arms up. Bale now, good ball in. Only headed away though by, I think it's Philipp might have actually got back there, but the break is for Dortmund. It's just the reactions disappointing, Paul, as Gotze now will find Philipp. He tries to turn it inside, can't get the ball away though, and Real can pass the way out of trouble. Yeah, like I was saying, 3-3-4, I think. Yarmolenko and Philipp wide, and Gotze and Aubameyang are almost playing as a two at the moment.
They are, and it makes sense when you're in possession and you're trying to get a goal back. But if they lose the ball, then they need to have reinforcements tracking back very quickly indeed. And Peter Bosz there, just up on his feet for a second. I think he knows that his side are in a position where they can have a really good chance of getting an equaliser, but they've got to make sure they don't concede the next one. We've actually gone past the three-quarter mark of the game. It's 69 minutes gone here at the BVB Stadion, and it will be Jack to take you through to full time. Yeah,
just looking up at the Leipzig game, it says bad light on the computer, so maybe there's an issue in the stadium. But I think we all jump to conclusions when it's a Turkish team at home.
Yes, we do. And as I say, I didn't want to sort of make that assumption, but I think it was fair that we could have thought something like that could have happened. But thankfully now, looking at our little update screen, it looks like the game is back on, and it's only 2 or 3 minutes behind the rest. In fact, it's still at the same stage as our game. So thankfully, nothing too serious there in the game in Turkey.
No, Isco now inside left position. He's pitter-pattered his way around the Spanish international. A lovely ball into Bale, gets it back as well and sweeps it wide now to Ronaldo, right edge of the box. Ducks and dives, gives it to Carvajal, wide, digs it over. Piszczek's there under his own crossbar to head it away, and Kroos will pick up the pieces. We'll fill you in the scores. Well, we might as well do it now. Apple 0, Tottenham 3. That's the other game in this group. Besiktas 2, Leipzig 0, Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 2. Obviously our game. Manchester City 1, Shakhtar 0, Monaco 0, SC Porto 1. I don't think many of us saw that one coming into this tonight's fixtures. Napoli 3, Feyenoord 0. Here's Isco, free on the edge of the area. Oh, blazes over the crossbar, and really should have scored there, I think.
He should have done. Isco. He really and his teammates waiting inside the penalty area. It's a great outside of the boot pass to get the ball to him in the first place. That man Ramos again, the emergency striker, but his ball to Isco was a good ball, and Zidane frustrated with that one as well. And another surprising goal perhaps in the Champions League, Jack.
Yeah, 2-0 Porto lead now in Monaco. Napoli 3, Feyenoord 0, Sevilla 2, Maribor 0, and Spartak 1, Liverpool 1.
Yeah, the interesting about Porto is that they're very seasoned in the Champions League, aren't they? They're always there or thereabouts in the group stage, and as you say, Monaco have still got a very strong side, but they've had so many changes since the summer. As Madrid go forward in our game here, it's cleared away to the edge of the area, but still perhaps a second chance, although the ball is now back with Weigl.
Yeah, it comes from nothing. Abubakar got the second goal. So it's a brace for him on the evening. And a player who played, I think, with Besiktas last season on loan. Penalty in the game at the Etihad. We'll get an update for you as soon as it comes through. Kevin De Bruyne scored the opening goal for Manchester City. And it looks like Sergio Aguero will be the man to take it. I'm probably going to speak too soon, but I think there's a record if he scores tonight, is it? We'll get an update on that for you. Here is Gotze, feeds it into the box. His cross is deflected, and Ramos will try and clear away, and maybe a break on. No, it's broken down, and Ramos is well out of position, but it's a poor pass by Dahoud. Penalty missed by Sergio Aguero. Just seeing that dive again, it's just it's too much from Gareth Bale for me. Papastho wins the ball. Look, he's looking at Burki. He's looking at his Burki.
Oh, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, as you said, Bale probably, he probably felt that there was a bit of contact, but he was looking for that contact. And there's no. I mean, I'd be very disappointed if that was given as a penalty.
Yes, as it just breaks down for Isco, and 72.5 minutes on the clock. Real Madrid. Just looking at their defence, their substitution options, I imagine Lucas Vázquez might be a man who comes on. Dani Ceballos, Marco Asensio, of course. They do have a few in reserve, but I think this is, when you look at their the 18 you've got tonight, this is by far their strongest 11 on the field. Ball over the top, looking for Ronaldo. Burki, once again, quick.
You mentioned the Aguero record, you're absolutely right. If he'd have scored this evening, he would have been level with City's all-time highest goal scorer, Eric Brook. The interesting thing is, of course, that Aguero, compared to the rest of the people on that list, Brook, Tommy Johnson, Colin Bell and Joe Hayes, Aguero has had so few games compared to them as well, so it really would be a very impressive record.
Yeah, here is Yarmolenko, inside right position, feeds Weigler. He'll dink it over the top, looking for Philipp. Now Castro back to Philipp, gets it out his feet, crosses a good ball in, but no one coming in at the back post. Almost snuck in itself. He wants a corner kick. I think maybe just trying to be a bit optimistic there. But yeah, it would have been... Yarmolenko maybe should have gambled. We see he's right in the middle of the box there, isn't he? Yarmolenko, rather than holding his position. Looks like Pulisic will be.
Yeah, it looks like Pulisic will be the final change. You're absolutely right. And just over 15 minutes to go, but we can see that Madrid getting some changes ready as well. And if I saw the number 20 there, that's Asensio.
Yeah, Asensio and Isco, number 22. Looks like the man who's going to be withdrawn for the final. Well, about quarter of an hour when the change is made as Dahoud hooks it over, well, everyone really, and wide by, good ball by Varane to Carvajal, and he's got Ronaldo to his right hand side. He gives it to the Portuguese. He looks up towards the back post, and he finds the head of Omer Toprak though, and Dortmund try and come again clear, but it's broken down. Toni Kroos, his ball's a pole, great challenge in the middle of the park, and just a bit of pinball. Will eventually see, whoa, it's not the best pass by Ramos, but great play by Varane. Slaloms his way through the Dortmund midfield and finds Isco. Will this be his last start? Cuts inside, wants a shooting opportunity, does. Good save by Burki down to his right hand side. Isco tried to do him with the eyes, and it was a really good reflex stop. As
it was. He nutmegs Piszczek and he goes to that near post. Again, they're doing their homework, aren't they? They know that Burki's not always the most confident on his near post, but this time makes a decent one-handed save and is able to get the rebound as well. A change for both sides then. So as Jack mentioned, Isco is off and Marco Asensio comes on in his place.
Yes, he does.
And the second change will just confirm that it is Christian Pulisic, the American, who's going to be coming on for Borussia Dortmund, coming on for Mario Gotze.
Yeah, Mario Gotze, a quiet evening, still working his way back.
Got better in the second half, I thought, especially that little spell in the first 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes of the second half. I thought that he was actually seeing quite a lot of the ball.
Yeah, a bit like Aubameyang. The more people he had around him, the more he came into the game, because he had players to feed off and link up with. But Pulisic, talk of Real Madrid potentially having a bit of a look at him going forward. Liverpool as well, also interested, and yeah, impressed so far this season. And now he's got the final 15 minutes to try and dig something out for his side. Trailing 2-1 at home in this Champions League Group H fixture. What can Dortmund produce as Pulisic gets his first touchdown on the right hand side? He'll offer, I think, more natural width, won't he? And he's won his side a corner kick.
Straight away an impact, yeah, absolutely. Just under 15 minutes to go in the game, but still plenty of time, of course, for Dortmund to get an equaliser and even think about getting a winner. So this is a good opportunity now if they can just get a bit more possession in and around the Real penalty area.
Yes, having a look who's going to come over. Yarmolenko, I think he's gone to a more central role.
He's got to get better deliveries. In the first half, all of his corners were a bit short and flat. Let's see if he gets a bit more whip onto this one.
Yeah, well, it's a better ball in. It's really tempting as well, but Casemiro, as he has been, again, excellent tonight, heads it away. And now Dahoud towards the back post. He's got Philipp there rising, and it's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, it is. I think it's Carvajal that gets the telling touch on that one. He was jumping up to try and win that one with Weigl, but it's gone out for a corner kick, and Castro standing over this one.
Yeah, it's good play by Carvajal, because he was giving away a good 3 or 4 inches on the man who was challenging. Castro, what can he produce? Good ball in towards the middle, but Ronaldo and Bale almost fighting each other to get it away, and Asensio gets his first touch into Toni Kroos, being forced back towards his own goal. He's not got too many options. Pulisic will do well to keep him in, but Asensio and Kroos, well played by them. And the break is on. Sergio Ramos playing as a centre forward, looking forward towards Bale, who doesn't win the ball this time. And Socrates with another good challenge. And now Philipp, can he keep it in? Yes, he can. He's got space now to run at I think Luka Modrić, the man tracking him. In fact, no, it's Yarmolenko, left-footed, elegant player, finds Dahoud. Piszczek's well up. He dinked over the top looking for Pulisic. But yeah, it's a real 3-3-4 now for Borussia Dortmund. They're not holding anything back, but again, just lacking a bit of craft as much as anything.
They are. They just need to have that little bit more inventiveness, really, in and around the penalty. Because Real are going to expect Borussia to come at them now, so they've got to be able to just mix it up a little bit, have a bit more variation in what they're doing. As we see some of the youngest Madrid fans in the stadium there, they seem to be enjoying their evening so far, and it's been a good away performance from Madrid. You can't say that they've been holding on, really. They've had spells where they've been under pressure, but apart from the first few minutes of the game, you always felt as though they were in control here.
Yes, here is Modrić, dinks it through. Ronaldo right edge of the box. Can he make it 3? Oh, what a finish by Cristiano Ronaldo! Just as Paul was saying, how well Real Madrid have played, and that just shows how dangerous they are. They've kept Dortmund at arm's length, and one chance, that's all he needs. Ronaldo fires it past Roman Burki. No chance for the goalkeeper, and it's Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 3.
That could well be game, set and match at the BVB Stadion. It's Borussia Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 3. Potential offside in this first goal. Ronaldo maybe one step ahead of the action as the ball is played down the right-hand side. He may well have been level as well. It's Luka Modrić that plays it through to him. Ronaldo gets to the penalty area. Tight angle. We know that Roman Burki isn't the best goalkeeper on his near post, and Ronaldo knows this as well. He just fires it straight past the goalkeeper's arm into the back of the net, and with just 11 minutes to go, you would think that is enough. Borussia Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 3.
Yeah, his fourth goal in 2 games in the Champions League. Brilliant record.
He's not doing so well in La Liga goal scoring wise, is he?
Well, he's not been suspended.
Well, I mean, as I say, when I saw him at the weekend, he was very frustrated. He seemed to want to take every shot on, but yeah. That's the way Ronaldo plays, though, isn't it?
Well, he was maybe a touch greedy in the defeat to Betis his first La Liga game of the season after that suspension, following sending off in the Super Cup. Sevilla now 3-0 up at home to Maribor. I know it was a penalty kick, so maybe Ben Yedder's got himself a hat-trick in that game. Yes, he has. Was on Ben Yedder. Make it 3-0 to Leroy Blancos at home to Maribor. The other game in that group, incidentally, is still Spartak Moscow 1, Liverpool 1. Elsewhere, Napoli 3, Feyenoord 0, Monaco 0, FC Porto 2, Manchester City 1, Shakhtar 0, City missing a penalty, Besiktas 2, RB Leipzig 0, and Apoel 0, Tottenham 3. Here is Socrates. Dortmund knew they were running the risk of being caught on the counter-attack when they went to this pretty attacking formation.
They had to take that risk, though. Do you not think, Jack? I think that I say they had to. It was a calculated risk to give themselves a chance of having enough possession to put pressure on Madrid. But in the end, it wasn't some superb counter. It was just a quick ball from down the channel. Then Modrić finds Ronaldo. It was an avoidable goal. And I think that Peter Bosz will be frustrated about that.
Yeah, like you say, they had to take that risk because that defeat at Wembley meant it was not all or nothing or anything like that, but it was a big game for them this evening, and unfortunately it's not happened for the BVB. Here is Yarmolenko. He's shown some nice touches, still really finding his way, though, you feel, in the yellow and black at the Westfalen Stadion. Here is Aubameyang, now Philipp. Nice interplay between them on the left hand side, but as Real Madrid have done so well this evening, they've got so many bodies behind the ball, pressing. All 10 outfield players are in their own half. Even Ronaldo's putting in a bit of a shift on the halfway. And was that a foul by Nacho? Yes, it was. And a free kick. If Dortmund can get a goal now, it would make things interesting, but it's got to be now, because otherwise it's going to be never.
Now or never, you're absolutely right. So just 8 minutes to go before injury time. And it's been a difficult game for Dortmund, but then it usually is. Most sides that come up against Madrid, although we did say at the start of the game, you mentioned that stat that Dortmund tend to do quite well against Madrid, but tonight really Real have done. I think they've done enough as the away side to really put pressure on Dortmund.
Yeah, Yarmolenko digs in, looking for Aubameyang, free header, just down into the ground, but straight at Keylor Navas. Yeah, it's been a performance by a team who know they're very, very good and know how to win the Champions League.
Absolutely.
Three in the last 4 years. You can't argue against that record, and they've done it so many times where people have said, question them and the tactics, whatever, but they've got a set of tactics and they seem to work.
Yeah, they really do, and it has to be said that had Dortmund just been a little bit more consistent in that opening spell of the first half, and then the goal that really came out of nothing for Bale. I mean, it was a world-class strike. We've had a bit of a go at Bale in the second half for his pretty poor efforts at diving, but that doesn't detract from the fantastic goal he scored in the first half to make it 1-0.
No, certainly not. It was a really, really good goal. Really classy, world-class finish by Bale. As the ball's overrun again by the Dortmund midfield, but Socrates, he won't give up, will he? Charges forward, the Greek defender, but no one really ahead of him, and that's to go now to Castro. He's got on his right foot. We'll find Yarmolenko drifting to the left-hand side. Nice skill, but he cut back onto his right foot, and the Real Madrid players quite wisely knew he was always going to go back to his left.
Yeah, I think that they just waited that one out, but a good chance now with this corner kick. Castro standing over it already.
Yep, Castro the man to take it in, swing it with his right foot. Aubameyang waits on the 6-yard line. They've got a bit of movement, but not as many bodies as you think, and it's a poor ball. Piszczek tries to flick it on at the near post. Nothing coming though, and in the end Modrić smashes it clear. Ooh, there's a collision on the halfway line. Referee Bjorn Kuipers didn't see too much in it. Ronaldo wanted something, but it wasn't to be, and here is Dortmund. There's a Real Madrid player down, maybe a bit of cramp or something like that, not quite sure, but it's into the box, smashed at Carvajal, and then Weigler loses it, and Bale, I think, a touch of cramp maybe, but I worry this might be a hamstring problem because he seems to be clutching the top of his left leg.
Well, if that would be a problem, of course, with all 3 substitutions being used by Dortmund, but in the meantime Real are going to make their second change of the evening. It's Lucas Vazquez going to be coming on for Bale.
Yeah, he's walking off somewhat gingerly, isn't he, Gareth Bale? He's taking his time. And a decent evening, the Welshman. We did have a go at him for what was a pretty blatant dive, and for a man on a yellow card, a pretty silly feat, but he's got a great goal and he's contributed to his play. His team's playing magnificently. Lucas Vazquez will come on for the final 5 minutes. And by the looks of it, still another change available to Zinedine Zidane, but I'm not sure he'll be too keen to make those things. Well, he might actually, as just to wind the clock down maybe towards stoppage time. But yeah, Bale back in the side. After some injury problems over the summer and in recent months, but he's a bit like Ronaldo. It just seems like he may have been injured, but they're so good they're back on the game straight away. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, the way I think that the Madrid play is that if 1 or 2 of them, as you say, are just starting to drop off, starting to play, they just feed off the other players. There's always somebody in that Madrid 11 who's going to do something just to lift the rest of his team. It's usually Ronaldo, let's face it, that can create something out of nothing, but they've got other match winners as well, and this long ball played, he was loath to run after that one, Asensio, because he suspected he was offside, and I think he gave up on it in the end.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I
think it might have actually been given as offside anyway.
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it? He moved in it, so I think by the laws of the game, the flag did go up. Here is Piszczek into the feet of Yarmolenko. Seems to be thriving actually in this more central role, giving him a bit more freedom. He's got Philipp, who has struggled a bit actually. The youngster had a good start to the season, scored twice at the weekend, but maybe just too many games in too short a space of time. It's Piszczek now. Dahoud screaming for the ball. Because it's Yarmolenko, Weigl now, and now Yarmolenko can turn. He's got, well, maybe we're seeing the issues of Dortmund's formation at the moment. There's no width at all coming from deep, so they've got no runners off the ball, no one who can spread the play. Toprak, he's got Piszczek to his right, but Dahoud, lovely skill by him, and digs out a pass to Yarmolenko, who finally offers a bit of width. Dahoud will get it back if he can square it. Piszczek's in acres of space, but he'll go back to Yarmolenko. Ball into the area isn't forthcoming. Real Madrid, Borussia still knocking it about, but not really doing anything with it. It's into the area looking for Aubameyang. He's away though. Whoa, back in by Piszczek. A bit of a hit and hope, but with a header, if you know what I mean, there, and wide of the upright.
Wide of the upright. Well, it's pretty much all going one way, with the exception of a couple of counters from Real. It is Dortmund trying to push forward in these final minutes, but you just feel as though the Real have got it sewn up that the possession is in midfield. The possession is, not really that close to the penalty area, and certainly there's not much space for the home side in the box.
Yes, Seems like we are just ticking down. Looking at the fixtures ahead for the side, Augsburg at the weekend for Dortmund, Espanyol at home for Real Madrid. Next Champions League fixtures, Apoel for Dortmund, and Spurs at home for Real Madrid. Of course, an international break in all this. We'll come back here as Asensio charging through on goal. Touches a bit heavy, well spread again by Roman Burki, who's had a good evening.
He's hurt himself there as well a little bit. Burki just gets up holding his arm or his shoulder, but it is a good save from the goalkeeper, but really he shouldn't really be able to even make that save. That should have been tucked away.
It was just half a touch too much, wasn't it, from Asensio? Got out his feet nicely, but it didn't quite work out for him there. But Real Madrid just controlling the ball now. Casemiro wide to Carvajal. We'll give it to back to Carvajal. Vasquez now. I think that's the first touch for him now. He'll play it back to Ronaldo. Poor pass by Ronaldo. Looking for the overlapping Carvajal. And now Aubameyang. Can they get a goal now to create a bit of a late flourish? It's Aubameyang. Pulisic is the man nearest to him, but no real help. It's dinked to the back post by Aubameyang. Comes to the hood on the edge of the box. Deflected. Hooked away by Nacho. Real pinball stuff. But it inevitably falls to Toni Kroos, who, as you'd expect, always has acres of space and time on the ball. And coolly plays it to Vasquez, back to Kroos, and now Casemiro, who really is the unsung hero of this team. He'll just control the ball. Manchester City 2-0 up now.
Yeah, Manchester City eventually getting their second goal. We'll wait to see if it is actually Aguero that's equalled that scoring record. But in the meantime, there could be a fourth here for Real. Ball just deflected away at the last there by Piszczek, but it will be a corner.
Yeah, it's Raheem Sterling with a goal. Aguero actually went off 5 minutes ago. Just looking at the monitor there. See Roberto Carlos in the stand this evening.
Yes, he's looking every time I see him, he looks stocky, doesn't he? He looks like he could have been one of the bodyguards for the directors there in the director's box, rather than, of course, being a director himself. But no, it's a very impressive performance from Real today. Going through the motions a little bit towards the end of the game, but that's because of the scoreline.
Yep, as Kroos again will find Asensio. Oh, lovely play by Asensio. Outside of the left foot, just dinks it over the defence. Carvajal makes the run, and it's deflected wide. Fine order with a goal back away at Napoli. 3-1 now in Naples. Now 3-0 away. That is the result of the night, I think. Monaco 0. FC Porto 3.
Certainly is, yeah, but we've got the final change here as we are into injury time, by the way, and there are going to be 4 minutes of it, and Luka Modrić is going to go off for these final minutes. I think, is it Ceballos coming on in this place?
Yeah, Danny Ceballos scored both goals at the weekend in the 2-1 win at Alaves, and he'll get the final few moments of this game. Starred for Spain in the summer in the under-23s, and
yeah, there really were quite a few players that we are going to see, I would imagine, next year at the World Cup as well. We were warming up in Russia last summer.
Yes, so he'll come on the final few minutes. Modrić had another. Well, you always expect, you know what you're going to get from him, don't you? He's always 7 or 8 out of 10. Always such a classy player. 32 now, Modrić. So maybe this might be his last, say, 18 months at the real top level. But great career, hasn't he? As Kroos crosses into the box looking for Ramos. Ramos, great head, great save by Burki down to his right hand side. And Dortmund are going to try and come away, but Nacho, who we were questioned at the start of the game, playing as a left back this evening, has done a pretty good job.
He has done a very good job. I still expected him to be tested a bit more than what he has been this evening. But having said that, Yarmolenko as well, he hasn't really tested him as much as I thought. And overall, I think that in the final third, Borussia have been a little bit wanting.
Yeah, here is. Just that it is that extra touch that Borussia have lacked for 3 or 4 years now. Really haven't, pretty much since Lewandowski left, which is always a hard man to replace and all those kind of things. He did have a great team, but yeah, it's just injuries and sales really just haven't helped them. Here is the Hood. Can he get one back? No, he just had his pocket picked. Vasquez though loses out, and Castro dives away to 90 seconds or so left of the game. Incidentally, I don't know if they have another break, but they've retune the clock, so to speak, in the game.
Oh right, yes. So we did think that they'd sort of caught up with us, or that they'd not really lost any time, but now they have actually lost a bit of time. So the Besiktas game is probably going to finish nearly 10 minutes after ours will. We've got about a minute and a half to go here.
Yeah, as Casemiro will find Ceballos, good touch by him and try to feed it over the top to Ronaldo, centre forward at the moment. I think that's probably where we're going to see him for most of the season now, rather than the wide channels, as he's really made his name. And here is Dahoud, feeds it through to just a heavy touch by Pulisic, who struggled to get in the match, and it's a foul. And in fact, the referee calls time a minute early, and it's another 3 points for Real Madrid. Goals from Bale and a brace from Ronaldo making the difference. Borussia Dortmund were pretty game and were cheered on by a pretty vociferous home crowd. However, it